Yes, it's audible.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start. Welcome to DURGASOFT. So we'll first understand the problem statement. Before understanding what is Splunk, right? We'll understand the what is the problem statement. Okay. So the problem statement is like a business on an IT enterprise, okay, an organization, right, which has thousands of servers, correct? An IT organization or a business. Okay, and each is within let us assume if you are working for some service based company, so you will be having like lot of projects, and those lot of projects will generate a lot of lot of data. Okay, let us assume like, okay, if you assume like a Geo or a Reliance group, right, it has lot of businesses, like they are into every stream, like they're into retail, they're into like mobile, they're into internet. Okay, so for them also, like there will be lot of generated data that will be generated from various sources. Okay, like it can be from petroleum, or it can be for each and every this stuff, right? They will be having some in the back end, they will be having some software application. It can be a website, or it can be a sensor, or it can be a device that generates some data, right? So an IT organization or a business has thousands of servers, and each server, right, generates some data. Okay, what this data can be, the data can be logs, or it can be the, like if you take it as an application, like it's a website, it will have some logs, like whenever you do, like if you are doing some payment in Amazon, in the back end, right, whenever you click some purchase, or if you want to view an item, right, internally some calls will be triggered, and the logs will be like recorded. Who is the user? Okay, you will be having some information in the log, like, so you will have some timestamp like 20, or I will put it as 10:16:00 AM. Okay, and info, and you will be having some URL, like method will be get, and you will be having some get method, amazon.com/ okay, and view. Okay, you will have something like /view 200 will be the okay success code. Or you can take another example saying like same thing can be, if he does a payment job, right, if he does a payment transaction, it will be something like purchase, and 200 is the success code, and price. Okay, with this information, right, let us assume like if a payment gets failed, so production guys or some people, right? Oh, am I not audible? I'm audible. Just now I got a
Yes, it's
confirmation.
audible. Yeah, yeah, it's
Can you please check your mic? Or please check. And price is something like $300. Okay, let us assume like I'm having this kind of information in my, this is meant by data. Okay, this like this I'm having information. Okay, like this I'm having information. So with this, right, if there is any failure or something, right, our production guys will intimate the development team to fix the issue. If there is any error, instead of info, if I get error, okay, I can like if I monitor, if I'm having some thousands of servers to get monitored, if I get an error, then I should involve my development team or a production team to fix the issue. That is for our IT organization team. Whereas for business, no, they were interested on the like some people will be viewing the item, some people will be really purchasing the item. So it doesn't mean like the if 100 people are viewing the item, everyone will purchase. So the business or the seller or the Amazon will be more interested in this like how many stuff sold, how many phones sold, right? So they will be interested in something like some metrics like number of mobiles sold, okay, and seller rating, something like that, okay, and in which region they are getting that in, like which region, let us assume like you are having something like north and south, okay, so in which area the yeah, actually everyone is able to hear. The problem is something with you guys, everyone are able to hear. Can you reboot your machine once, or like can you please join again? Ravindra, please join again, no? Maybe that will resolve your issue. Yeah, sorry guys. So the like Amazon CEO will be interested in this one because he will be giving, like he will see the rating as well, right? If 10 people are selling the Amazon phones, he will give the orders to the person who is having the best rating, okay, rather than like facing he facing the issues by shipping, by giving the orders to a seller who is having less rating, which will be a headache, no? So he will do that, okay. Now what is the goal? Basically our goal is to monitor large amounts of data which is being generated by these organizations which is having some thousands of servers, okay, which are having some thousands of servers. That is the goal. You understood what is the problem statement?
Basically, we are trying to find out what's the activity in the application, all kind of activities.
Exactly. This is only one use case. Let us assume like you are, if you are shipping your what to say, your OS logs, okay, which contains the information of how many users like are logging into the machine. Like an organization will have some thousands of servers, okay. So hacker will try to attack only one system out of thousand, right? He will try to attack. He will take control of one system, one server, and he will gain access to the, he will enter the network. So what he will do normally, it won't be a cakewalk, right? It won't be a cakewalk, like whenever he enter username and password, he will be logging in. So he will be doing some multiple attempts to log into the server, okay. Now what happens, right, whenever he does an login failure, right, whenever his attempt is failed, right, in logs it will be recorded. So if I want to check in each and every server in 1000 logs, right, 1000 servers, no, it will be a difficult job for me. But if I have a mechanism, something like if I send all these logs to one place, okay, and if I have some dashboards or if I have some alerts or some mechanism such that if any suspicious operation is performed, like normally from every server, right, on a daily basis you will be having some 100 failures, Okay, this is my average criteria. Okay, which I am seeing, this is the trend which I am seeing from last 10 days or 20 days or even 1 year. But suddenly, if he sees like 100 failures or within 1 hour or within 10 minutes, then our admin should get high, like admin should check, or the security people should check that particular system which they are attacking, and they have to shut down the system. Got it? So like that, you can do the some operation, something like that. Okay, it mostly, right, the Splunk will be used by the security admins. Okay, security as well as the, I mean, like developers, testers, is basically used by everyone. It doesn't mean like it's something like an Excel. Out of 100 Fortune companies, Fortune 100 companies, right, 92 will be using Splunk, and in 95 to 97%, right, 95% of the production servers will have Splunk. Maybe you know or not, I don't know, but 95% of the existing production servers will have Splunk. It will be used by support team as well as the admin. Okay, now we are having a typical environment where some services will be present in cloud and some will be in on-premises. No, so monitoring is a big challenge over there. Okay, so what is Splunk basically? Actually, it is a proprietary software developed by the Splunk. It's a Splunk is a company. Okay, software used to collect. Okay, it will do the collection of data. It will search the data. Okay, and we can analyze and we can visualize. Basically, it is software used to collect the data. Collect the data in the sense, I will tell you. So here, right, I'm having some 1,000 machines. Okay, here I'm having some 1,000 machines. Like these are like 10 machines. Let us assume like these are all the 10 machines. Like this, I'm having one stack of different OSs. Okay, different OS, and it may be Linux or Windows or AX or whatever, or a Mac or any operating system. And here I will be having my Splunk. This is my Splunk. Basically, what will happen, right? Collect in the sense like this is my source system. From my source system, right, the data will be, as soon as it gets generated, the data will be sent to my Splunk Indexer. There will be one component called as like Splunk Indexer. Okay, there are like multiple components for Splunk as well. The data is collected in one component called as Splunk Indexer. So there will be one component called as Splunk Indexer, where the data is stored in something called as like an index, which is nothing but a bucket. Okay, and there will be something like an index for every data or every project, or based on the type of application, the data will be kept in one index, and they will give some index link. So that data will be sent over here. So let us assume like I can't directly send my data from my source system, like it may be Windows or it can be my Linux. It can't be my it can be my Linux, or it can be my Mac. Okay, and you can select any flavor. Okay, we can't directly send the data over here, no. So there would be some component called as universal forwarder. So what this is a lightweight agent. Okay, it is a lightweight agent which will send the logs from this server to an indexer. Got it? This will be an lightweight program or lightweight agent or a software which will send the data to the indexer. Okay, so basically, right, using the data once it is collected, now you can do searching, analyze, and visualize the data. Okay, like if you see the Splunk competitors, right, so there are like multiple Splunk competitors. Basically, like there are like competitors like one is like logDNA, Elasticsearch, Sumo Logic. Okay, these are some of the, there are some other competitors as well. Okay, so let's assume like what are the career paths for Splunk. If you see the Splunk career paths, right, there will be some certifications also, something like Splunk admin. Okay, and everyone. So if you see the Splunk environment, right, it has multiple components. Basically, I will have one diagram. I will show you the architecture diagram of Splunk. Okay, so if you see here, right, these are all the components of Splunk. So Splunk is not an individual server basically. So like it has some, if you want to set up your lab properly, right, you need some 6 to 7 virtual machines. If you set up your lab in cloud, you will have some 5 to 6 machines. Like minimum 5 is required if you want to set up proper, like proper setup. Okay, in an organization, right, that count may vary, like you will be having some 50, 60, 70 based on the amount of data that you send to your indexer. So this, like Splunk will have multiple stuff, right? One is like an, we'll see from here, right? So this is the indexer which I told you. So this indexer, no, it will get the logs. Basically it will get the logs from your source system. Okay, indexer is a component which will get the logs from your source system. Okay, for searching, right, you will be having a component, like there will be one component called as search head. Okay, if I show here, right, you won't understand. Else you remember, right, there will be multiple components like indexer in Splunk admin itself. I will put it over here. Okay, so Splunk components, I already mentioned, like there is a component called an indexer. What it will do, it will send the logs from, sorry, indexer is a component which will store the logs. Collect and, okay, as I mentioned here, these are my source systems. Okay, there is one component called as like universal forwarder, UF. I will mention, I will say, so this universal forwarder will send logs to my indexer. That's what I mentioned, you know. Universal forwarder. It will send the logs to indexer. So if there are some 1,000 servers, okay, let us assume like 1,000 or 2,000 servers are there, and they are sending every log to this indexer. It can't withstand, no, it will crash. So in order to avoid that, right, Splunk has come up with something like an indexer clustering. So you won't have one indexer, something like this. Like this, you will be having multiple indexers, and everything will be in sync. Synchronization will happen for the data, and you will be having once already these indexers. Let us assume like these three indexers are getting data from some 400 servers or 300 servers. So there is a very high disk IO operations going on because read write operations are more. So I can't put an overhead on the same server to get the data. So what I will do, right, I will install some component called as search head. So what search head will do, right, whenever you write a query or something, no, what search head will do, right, it will get the logs from this indexer and it will present to you. With that, you can visually play, you can write some Splunk queries and you can play with them. Okay, and there will be some other components as well, like due to this time, right, it will be like more theory, so I don't want to discuss. Like I will tell only the positive flow. Like when the logs reaches here, it will be stored in one component called indexer. From there, the search head will be picking the data and it will be showing to you. Okay, for if you see this architecture, no, it will be something like this. It will be having these number of nodes, and each application or each component will have different reports enabled. Okay, so like the admin job is to basically, right, maintain this infrastructure. Okay, like sending the logs, and if there is any issue, he has to troubleshoot and all those. And there will be something like a developer. So once the data gets stored in the indexer, right, now you from the search head, the developer will see the logs and he will prepare the dashboards and he will write some Splunk queries to analyze the data. That is the job of the developer. Okay, and if you see, like everyone in the sense, like it may be something like a support admin. These are the two jobs which are specific to Splunk. Okay, if you like how you have developer and something like Java or .NET, right? These are the two jobs which you can like get. If you learn admin, you can apply for admin jobs. If you learn development, you can apply for developer jobs. Okay, there will be some jobs open for both these roles. And for everyone means like an other person who is working in an organization, it can be something like an admin, or it can be developer, or it can be a support, or a tester, or business analyst. So, or a client. So they will be also using the Splunk, because this admin will check the admin logs, development team will check the Splunk, because they won't log into each and every machine and check. Basically, they will log into the Splunk and verify the logs, and production support team will monitor the production logs or prepare the dashboards. They will take care of these production servers. Okay, and tester will test and he will see the verify the result in the what to say in the Splunk. Business, no, as I mentioned, like in this one use case I have mentioned, no, what are the purchases that happened on that particular day, or like on that particular hour. Okay, he will get that information, the business analyst or client. Okay, we'll see about the Splunk installation. No, so there will be like multiple components as I mentioned in Splunk here. No, for now, right, I will be in the, like installing only indexer. Okay, so I don't want to install other stuff, just I will install this indexer. Till now, any doubts? You can post some questions if you have. Later I will install the Splunk and I will show you.
So admin is the one who configures the application into onboards the application into Splunk, and
Yeah.
developer is the one who writes the query for
Yes,
like
exactly.
searching.
So if you take a big organization, no, they will be having that role independent. Like they will be having some admin role separately and developer role separately. Okay. But in like if you take a medium-sized companies, right? So both the stuff will be done by one person. That depends upon the organization and your job scope. It if you are even working on admin, right? So you should know what is happening in the Splunk, or you should be in a position to write some queries, no, to maintain that infrastructure. At least you should. So it doesn't mean like he requires 0% of Splunk admin. He should have some knowledge on the Splunk development also.
But does he also have the knowledge of other technologies, like for example Java, .NET, Node?
No need. So it is a separate job profile itself. So if you know it, Linux administration, it will be helpful, because he wants to do some installation and configurations, no. So like the person who is working on having knowledge on Linux, it would be useful. Like if I want to edit a file, or if you want to change the permission, or if you want to zip a file, or if you want to restart a service,
Basically Linux commands.
yeah, he should have minimum basic comments. He should not be a Red Hat certified or something like that, but he should play with Linux a bit. And it doesn't, like, a minimal should be fine. Any other questions? If there are no questions, we will proceed. So like that, in the same way, right, you will be having some license server here. If I want to say license server, right, I'm having some multiple indexers. Like, so if I'm having some 50 indexers, and like whenever I send a data to Splunk, no, here I'll, based on the license, means like how much data I'm sending per day, whether it is like 5 GB or 10 GB, the Splunk will scale from 1 GB to 1 terabyte per day. Okay, indexers can scale to 1 GB to 1 TB. Okay, so such kind of things, right, you should have a license manager who will really check like whether my source systems are sending or violating the license. If they purchase 5 GB license, whether they are sending some like 10 GB or something, right, there should be some cap, right? So this license manager or license server will be doing that. Okay, like that there will be something like a heavy forwarder. Actually forwarders, there are two types, basically universal and heavy forwarder. This one we will discuss in a next class or something, okay, or in our Splunk course. Okay, so now we'll proceed with, we'll deploy only indexer basically. So for that, right, I have to log into the Splunk. Oh, currently, right, I'm setting my lab in my Google Cloud, like so I'm opening the Splunk and I'm downloading the Splunk. The latest version is like 8.1.2. Just I will stop the screen share and I will enter my credentials and I will share my screen.
Okay, while you do that, I have one more question. Can I go ahead?
Please.
So you were saying, right, we need some Linux commands and everything. Okay, if you are onboarding an application, or if you're doing some configuration or writing the queries, we do it in UI, right? We don't do anything in Linux, right?
Yes. No, there are two stuff, right? For admin, you need to configure. Now for that, I told like you need it like Linux commands.
Okay,
For developer,
like
you don't.
gotcha.
Got it?
Yeah.
So only for if you are working on admin, you need, else it is not mandatory.
Gotcha.
So that's what, like if you learn both, it will be useful, no? Maybe like it won't take more than 2 days or 3 days to learn those comments. It is not like, if you think like Linux, it is not a big thing, like you will have some 10 or 20 comments. Okay, so those comments will be useful. Okay, actually there will be two types of softwares, as I mentioned, there will be something like a universal forwarder and enterprise edition. Okay, so currently I am in this enterprise edition. Basically Splunk provides two softwares, one is the enterprise edition and one is the universal forwarder. Just this is the universal forwarder, which I will install in my client. So if you see, right, it is just a 70 MB file. If you see Windows or Linux or whatever, right, it's not exceeding. If for Windows only, it is 70. Oops. For the rest, if you take like operating systems like Linux or Solaris, okay, or Mac, it is just a 30 MB file or something. Okay, 30 or something. For this, it is like 60 for AXI system. So this is the universal forwarder, which will be an agent which will be running on my source operating system. So I can, by default, right, Splunk will support this operating system distributions. In Windows, it will support 10 and 2016 server. In Linux, right, there are like, based on the architecture, you are having multiple components. For Solaris 11, it will support Spark machines and 64. Both are different architectures. This is a physical hardware. Okay, and if you are having if you want to send the logs from Mac, you can do that. Okay, this is regarding the universal forwarder, and this is the enterprise edition. So if you see the enterprise edition, like it will be like around 300 or like 400 odd. Okay, so in Linux also it will support basically three: Windows, Linux, and Mac. And in Linux, there are some multiple distributions, like RPM will be supported by Red Hat, Debian will be supported by Debian package systems like Ubuntu. So if you want to have a combined architecture, right, then this star based thing will support everything. It can be like Linux, or sorry, it can be like what to say, like Red Hat or CentOS, or it can be Fedora, or it can be Ubuntu or something else, right? This will suit for everything. Okay, now what we will do, right? But you have to see one thing. When I showed my architecture, here I told like there is one component called license server. I told my component called search hit. There is an indexer, and there is something like a universal forwarder. I showed you 70 MB package. There will be component called heavy forwarder, deployment server. Okay, so for all these components, right, the software is only one. So we have to install the Splunk Enterprise Edition and make the like once you install it, you have to configure the respective nodes. If you want to make it as a heavy forward, you have to make it using the same software. So they won't provide explicit softwares for each. If you see elk stack, if you are like known about elk, right, there will be something like Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. So each thing will have different software. Okay, one is for sending, one is for collecting, and one is for showing in the dashboard. Here it is not the case. You will have only one software. If you have this one, you have to do some configuration to make the like a Splunk according to that module or a component. Okay, now what I will do, right, I will install this one. So before that, right, I am on my Google Cloud. What I will do, right, I will click on, if you go to, like, if you open one Google Cloud, right, you will have an option like left navigation menu. In that navigation menu, you have to go to compute. Okay, this is my compute. Here I will be having my compute engine. In my compute engine, I have to go to virtual machine or VM instances. You can do that if you are well versed with AWS. You can use there also. You can create your instance there also, not an issue. I have to click on create. I'm just creating an OS here. I will name it as an indexer. Okay, here, right, I have to check I want to know, like I want to check what is the operating system and what is the configuration which I need. So for now, right, I'm selecting 2 VCP and some 4 GB RAM, that should be sufficient for me. Okay, 2 VCP and 4 GB, even this is also fine. Okay, I will use 2 GB, 2 VCP and 2 GB RAM. That should be sufficient. And here, right, I have to select the operating system. Currently, by default, it is in Debian. I will go with CentOS. Okay, 20 GB disk is sufficient. Okay, there will be something like firewall settings where you want to allow HTTP or HTTPS, because I want to access the UI now. So I will be like clicking on this stuff. So basically what I did now, I have created a name and I have changed it. I have just selected the option of my machine type, whether hardware configuration. I have selected 2 VCP and 2 GB RAM. Okay, and I have selected the operating system. These three things I have done, and I have selected this HTTP and HTTPS, and I'm clicking on create. So like if you're having some virtual machine like VMware or something, right, you can do that. Okay, for small stuff, right, I'm doing on this like Google Cloud. Okay, like for a bigger environment, right, we can go with. The only problem, if you have the environment here, now you have to destroy it once your job is done. You can't preserve it. Okay, if you're having some 5-6 machines, if you have the setup in VMware, no, you can, whenever you want, you can use it. Else you have to start creating from first. Okay, if I want to log into that machine, no, so there will be like internal IP and public IP, external IP. I have to click on this SSH component such that I will get my terminal. Any doubts? It will take some time. Meanwhile, I can answer.
So you showed the indexer, selector, and those things, right, in the diagram.
Exactly. Yeah, tell me.
So will that be different for other competitors?
It depends. But
So
basically, you will have one shipper, means like one software for shipping. Okay, one software for storing, and one software for if you see Elk, right, it will be having same. When I worked on Elk, like I used to have, but there are 3 independent packages. Now I am having only 2 packages. No, there I will have 3 packages, and support will be good for Splunk.
So you mean to say indexer is used for storing and
Exactly.
search is for search? What does this the third layer do? The forwarders.
Forwarder will send the logs
to indexer.
Yes.
Okay.
So let us assume like if you are a network router, if you want to send the router information to Splunk, you can't install universal forwarder in your router. No? Is that possible?
Yes. No.
So there you will have some like heavy forwarder. You will have heavy forwarder coming into picture. So from this heavy forwarder will collect the logs from your your routers or radio frequency devices or telephone towers, or some other network element, and it will receive the data, and this it will send as a log. So it has multiple uses basically, right? It basically, if you want to say in one line, Splunk can monitor everything. It not necessary applications. It will monitor routers, switches. It will monitor like to say IoT devices, and it will be used in machine learning. Okay, or big data. Big data is what actually? Big data is like if you're working on big data, right?
Yeah, unsanitized data.
Unstructured data you will be having. Okay, those things they will be analyzing, correct?
Yes.
So even here also, the data that is generated by machine may not be structured data, correct?
Yes.
So once the data gets stored in my indexer, like what I can do, I can analyze the data by writing some Splunk queries or whatever. You got it? So
Yeah,
unstructured data also can be like, this is used in machine learning, deep learning, and even IoT devices also. It will send the data. IoT from like, you will have some SDK component in IoT device, right? You can configure such that it will send the data to the Splunk. It has like many uses basically. Just I have mentioned like 2-3 use cases. It can monitor AD Active Directory and other. It is an end-to-end solution basically. It will monitor everything in an organization. Okay, so now I have any other questions?
Sir, actually, I have one question.
Yeah.
Suppose I have a group of errors, say like 9 to 10 errors. So,
Yes.
okay, so can we is there any like configuration where we can classify into one so that we can get one common alert?
Yeah, I got you. So I will tell you one thing. Okay, one simple thing. Okay, now let us assume like your infrastructure is present. Okay, your application is present in AWS, partially 4 servers. It can't be one today, right? Any solution or any design can't be within one server. So there will be an let us assume like there is a solution for like Netflix or something. Okay, now they have their presence in there's some servers in AWS. Okay, and they have some servers in Azure. Okay, and they are having some servers on premises. On premises means their Netflix data center. Okay, and they are having in GCP. Let us assume like your transactions whenever you watch a movie, for logging in or credit card information won't be stored in cloud. So it has to come to the physical data center and get validated. Okay, and after that, right, so like some there will be some multiple actions, right? Multiple movies or something, right? So some are stored in AWS, some are in Azure, some are in GCP, let us assume. Okay, now if you get any error, let us assume like there will be some if I tell AWS, right, it can't be one server, right? Here it can be
Okay.
1 or 10 or 20. Here it can be 1 or 10 or 20. I got your doubt, right? So if I get an error, how we will trace it? Correct? In this
Right.
environment, so all the logs will be stored in an indexer. Okay. So if I want to search the logs for an indexer, right? It's the Splunk query which I have to give is like IAM index is equal to something like ABC is my index.
Okay.
Then I give error, right? All the errors which are present in all these systems will be displayed. If you there will be some curation you have to pick in Splunk UI. Okay, based on like last half an hour or last 30, then it will show all the errors. Can you please go on mute? It is echoing a bit. So it will show. We'll see that one. So whenever you type error, it will from these logs, it will search for a string like error, and it will display you the what are the errors and what are the host names of those originating errors. Let us assume like out of this 10, I am getting error from only one machine. So
Okay.
whenever you do a query, right, you won't get all this stuff. All this, you will get only this if error is present. Like that, you can directly go and troubleshoot.
Okay. And
Any doubts?
I had one more question. Like, for these alerts, can we see those alerts on UI or can
Yes,
we?
yes. So here, as I mentioned, now there will be one component called as like search head. In search head, you will be doing all those alerts, dashboards preparation. You will be doing in the search head.
Okay, and suppose if I want those alerts to be routed to my mail
Mail
ID
ID.
or some email.
No, it can be done. We will show that one in our regular class, right? We will show.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. These alerts, reports, and everything will come to mail. Okay, we'll have some discussion like on that. Okay, that UI part or the development part will be done only in this component. Others are not involved. Okay, so this is my where I am. I'm installing. No other doubts, right? I can proceed now. Sudo -i if I give now, I will get the admin access. I think you are able to see now. This font is fine, right? Or you want something bigger, or this should be? Yeah. So first, right, I have gone and I have gained the root access. All the Splunk, right, will be installed in one directory called like OPT. In OPT only, I will be installing my Splunk. Okay. So what I have to do, right, I have to download the software into my Google Cloud. So here, right, when I go to this Splunk Enterprise Edition, right, I have to download this star file. Okay, this is like, we won't use RPM and all those, but we'll use this star based installation. Once I click on this download now, then I will be getting like, I will be getting this. I will be getting something like wget command. So normally, right, what will happen now? If I click on this, right, my software is getting downloaded locally, but again I have to go and like move it to my cloud. No, instead of that, right, Google or this Splunk will be giving some wget command through which the software can be downloaded from internet itself directly. Okay, so we have to copy paste this command. By default, right, Google won't accept wget. If I give wget, right, it will show command not found. So what I have to do, right, yum install, I have to install this wget command. Okay, and if I click on Y now, it is getting installed. Okay, I will update the packages also. So this is basically for updating the Red Hat packages. Okay, looks like everything is fine. I don't know OS configuration. Okay, everything is updated. Normally, right, whenever you give yum update, right, some 300 or some 200 MB RPMs will be installed. Okay, MB RPMs. Okay, now I'm in my directory called OPT, and here I will be copy pasting this stuff. Wget I'm giving. So basically, right, my software will be downloaded into my cloud machine. If I give ls, this 8.1.2 ls-h if I give, okay, it is something. Okay, so 489 MB. So how I have to install the package? It is simple. tr-zxvf. I have to give Splunk. Just extraction is enough.
Splunk is written in Python.
Yeah. Second. Yeah. So if I install this one, right? Sorry, if I install this one, right? One, extract this file. I'm getting one folder called bin. Okay, Splunk. So cd/opt /splunk/bin. Okay, this is the directory where the startup scripts and everything will be present. Okay, so if I want to start a Splunk, no, I have to issue start/Splunk. Accept hyphen license. Oops. Actually, this is a big thing. It will come like we have to read and everything. So instead of that, right? No, we'll do it again. So basically, right, you have to read these terms and conditions. In order to avoid that, only I have given this command. Okay, there is one thing called like space missing between accept and license. That's why we got the page. If you give like this, no, directly you will be asked with username. Now the Splunk is getting installed. This indexer component is getting installed. Okay, basically indexer component will have the UI also same like search head. Okay, so indexer is a component which will have the search head component also. Means like whatever you see in the search head, the same will be present in the indexer also. Okay, instead of irrespective of storing the data, you can search the data from indexer as well, but in real time you won't do. For our lab purposes, right, you can use this. If you install indexer, that should be fine. You will have the search head component coming with the indexer itself. Now I'm taking the public IP. For an 8000. Okay. So this is Splunk. So Splunk component. Okay. This is the indexer. Even like search bed will also have the same. There will be one thing called search and reporting. So someone was mentioning like how to search errors and all those. Okay. I will show an example. I'll put something like there will be one internal index. Okay. As I have not created an index yet, I am using the existing index and I have to pick my time interval here, like from when you want. Okay, there will be here, right, there will be something like a last 24 hours, or you'll be having some multiple options like last 30 days or 30 weeks, 30 months, quarters, years ago, something like you will be having multiple options to select the time period. Okay, so I'll be selecting, just now I have installed our Splunk. Now I will select hour ago. Okay, and you will be, if you want to have select a specific time interval, you can select like from when to when, or from this time. If you are doing some installation or if you are doing some work, your installation or something, your configuration started at this point of time. So if you click on this one, right, you will get the logs from that particular time. Okay, before means let us assume like you got some error at this point of time. Okay, before that you want all the logs, so you can select that. Based on the need, you have to select. Okay, for now, right, I'm selecting something like last 24 hours or last 24 hours or 1 hour, and I'm clicking apply and I'm clicking on save. So like this, I will be getting the data. Okay, so you see, right, I'm getting some host. If it is my source system, now I will be getting the machine IP of my operating system. Okay, now let us assume like I want error. I will see, or if I have any. See, there is some string called error here. So it will be displaying something like this is from this machine and which log. Okay, you will be in like in multiple machines, you will be sending multiple logs. If you are getting the data from 100 machines, there will be like multiple logs, sources, log sources. If I type, as soon as I type error, right, I am getting the error is from these two. Got it? So if I want to, if I'm interested only in this UI, then I can click on this such that this gets added over here. Okay, and you will get only one error whatever you see. Okay, so let's, or you will see something like this. Okay, or you will see from this one. Okay, this one is like internal Splunk internal log, which I don't have any control, but I'm not sure why it is showing here. So if you see access UI, right, I can add from this one. Whatever I did from here, and both are same basically, but I'm not sure why I didn't get. It may be UI problem or something, but normally you will get. Okay, I got it now, right? The same UI I selected, but when I added like this, now I got it. Like that, you can filter it out. Like that, you can write Splunk queries. You'll be having options for reports, and you can configure your reports, alerts. Yeah, reports I will be showing if I have an example. So
can we also extract the report here?
oh, you can extract, you can create your custom dashboards, you can custom reports, and you can send these reports to a mail. Everything can be done. Alerts also you can send.
Sir, can you show one demo example like how we can configure alerts?
Alerts, right? I need some system. No, if I for that, right, I need to have some setup. No, currently, right, I should have some universal forward or logs. Okay, so that can be done. It will be like very simple only. So while writing the Splunk queries, because I have to configure the email server for that, it will take some time. So we actually have only 5 or 10 minutes left, but that will be part of our classes. In our regular classes, right, I will take sessions on how to create an alerts, how to create a dashboard. Maybe in the next demo, right, I will keep ready everything ready. Like as soon as this, I will take it as a feedback, and instead of installing new machine, no, I will have one machine which is having this alerts.
Okay, fine.
And if you see these dashboards, which is something like this, you will have. Maybe I will create one instance for only for demo. That will be useful. And one more advantage of Splunk is there will be something like Splunk base. This is why Splunk is more popular. So the Splunk can be integrated to multiple or like what to say, multiple solutions. Like it can be used for, I will tell you. 1 second, let me search. So if you see, right, if you see that category, right, the Splunk can be integrated to IT operations. In IT operations, right, these people will be using these many like Kafka monitoring or Gmail audit or Teams, or like this, you'll be having multiple options like Docker and all those stuff. Okay, JBoss. So Splunk can be integrated to these components such that it will get the data from these machines. Okay, for DevOps also you will be having something like Jenkins and all those. So the Splunk can get data from this. If you want to go for this security and fraud, no, so even I am also not sure on this security, but you'll be having normally, right, the companies will be using these softwares. Okay, so those software information can be pulled into the Splunk basically. Okay, so like IoT devices, IoT, right, you will be having, they will be using something like this stuff. So the Splunk can be integrated to this one. Like here, right? The what to say? The use case may differ if you're based on the project you are working. So we can't show all this in our classes. Basically, right? We will take one example and we can show how to integrate with the Splunk with the 1 or 2 apps. If you see the Splunk, right? It will be having like so many. Like for AWS also, it can be integrated. You will be having Splunk app for AWS. For DB also, we will be having something app. Okay, so it varies basically. There will be some utilities as well, so you can integrate with the Git or something based on your project needs. The admin will be configured. Okay, there will be something like Windows monitoring.
I mean, looks like it is able to integrate with everything.
Yeah, it will be able to integrate with everything. That's why it is famous. So
I thought it's only for applications like Java and nodes and those kind of things, but looks like DB, Git, Docker, Jenkins.
So in one dashboard or in one stuff, even you might have heard about this New Relic, right?
No.
It is monitoring, or you might have done read about something like Dynatrace.
Yeah, Dynatrace.
So Splunk will have an add-on to that. So the data which you are getting from this one, right, Dynatrace, that can be seen in the dashboard. Got it? If you see here, no, this is the sample dashboard of the, once the data gets loaded, no, you will have the end picture something like this. In dashboard itself, you will see. You don't need to open that Splunk.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Sorry,
yeah. So basically, the people who are using Splunk, they can use this Dynatrace like for the search filters and everything.
Basically, right, in order to avoid this logging into that machine Dynatrace, they can have their here itself. Got it? So it can be integrated. This will be at the end, right? The Splunk will be the end-to-end solution to monitor.
Gotcha.
By default, it will have some dashboards, or it can get some dashboards will be like paid and some dashboards will be something like free. Okay, so like if you want to do Linux monitoring, there is one add-on. So CPU and memory you will have, right? Normally you will do the CPU and memory, right, for an application. So those things also can be fetched from Windows. You will be having some perfmon or something. So that counters and like that metrics also can be pulled by installing these add-ons or like apps. From AWS also you have. So if you want to monitor AWS system, you can monitor using Splunk. So but we can't, because this scope is very vast, no? So we can't monitor everything. You can't take classes. Now I will just show you like one app installation or 2 apps installation, like Windows and Linux I will show as part of the course, because based on the project you work, yeah, this can be only taken as a complete course if you are just looking for integration. So there are some numerous apps, right, in the Splunk base. These are developed by Splunk as well as the vendor also. So in machine learning also they will use this Splunk. You have some machine learning also. So you'll having some machine learning like that. You'll get some dashboards or something. That based on the use case. That's why I told you, like Splunk will provide opportunities. Like if someone is working on machine learning, no, they have to install Splunk and have this app, and they have to work on this. Got it? That's it from me. If you have any doubts, I will answer. If you want, I can't configure alert. I can show something like a dashboard, how we can put the alerts, right? It will take some time. Okay. Index is good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can I know what is UUID? It will be generated right in the search.
UUID, GUID.
UUIDs.
So that will be generated from the application, no? In Splunk, every Splunk will be generated by the this one, where every Splunk will have some unique ID, right? That is GUID. UUID, maybe it will be like for the application. So let us assume, like, if you are, there will be something like tracing concept. So if your source system, as I mentioned now in this example, if I'm having some solution which is going across these multiple nodes, your application development team may put something like UUID or TID or session ID, okay. They will have something like some number, okay, which UUID is something like a unique number, okay. It can be something like, you will have something like this. This will be unique basically, okay. Using this UUID, this will be mapped to your session ID by giving the session ID or a transaction ID or whatever, right? Okay. If you give your session ID here, no, in your search, the transactions pertaining to this session in your AWS or Azure or on-premises or GCP, that will be listed out. Only this particular transaction can be listed out. That is the tracing ID, not the UUID. UUID will be assigned to a tracing ID or a session ID. Basically, it is just a unique ID for tracking the end-to-end user journey. If you give in search, no, it will present, it will give you the list of host or something which where this transaction ID goes. If it goes to one server, it will go one. Here, if it goes to two server, that will give that particular logs only, so that you can track like what is happening. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
So I am getting something like count here. If I put it in a visualization now, basis, okay, starts counting. Okay, here I am getting this, okay, and one second. You give starts count, right? These things can be put in visualization. Basically, I can put one chart, like there will be like multiple charts basically. So single valued I can put. So based on I need, I have to select my chart. So this one I can save it as a alert or some dashboard or a report. Okay, if I configure this as an alert now, I can create an alert saying like if this count exceeds more than some X value, trigger an alert. So while writing the Splunk queries only, we have to do this one. Currently, right, while creating an alert, it will take 20 minutes to explain. There you will have some concept of cron and all those. We can for scheduling and all those. So that's why I was telling. Okay, now I'll create as a like a dashboard. I will total events. I will put something. Okay, so what I will do, right, I will create a new dashboard called total events and I'm saving it. Okay, if I click on this dashboard now, so you will have something like this. Whenever you open this dashboard now, you will be seeing like total events, something like that. Or I can prepare one more. So I'm writing my query, something like that. So here, right, I can list like I'm having some errors basically. So once I write my query, right, so for get there are 25 errors, for post I'm having one error. So I can put it in the same dashboard. I can put it as a report saying like, or I will save it as a dashboard panel. I will map it to something like an existing. I have previously created 2 total events now. I can put something like this. That's it, guys. Let's yeah. Once you like this, you have to prepare your dashboards. Got it? Like that, you can have like you can change the visualization as well. And put something like this bar chart. I can add it like this also. I can put like this. There will be like multiple options. We can select. That's it for today. If you have any doubts, I'll clarify.
Yeah,
So
what is the message format of Splunk? Like Prometheus, like
Yeah. Tell me. Can you repeat?
yeah, what is the message format of Splunk? What is the input type?
Input type can be log, no? It can be log or machine data or whatever. If you see here, whatever you are seeing in logs will be put over here. No, there won't be any format or something.
Okay.
Whatever the
Okay.
source system sends, that will be the input.
Okay.
It may be structured or unstructured.
Yeah.
We want to manipulate the input. Post the data gets stored. If you want, you can. Means
Okay.
like we have to write the Splunk queries to extract the information. We want to manipulate the data.
Okay.
sir, I had one question. I means I want to ask, like, are we planning to have more sessions on Splunk?
So maybe in the, we'll have it in the next week. So we'll have one more demo.
Okay.
Else you can contact the speak with the counselors, no, coordinators.
Can I
you want to
know?
repeat the session, or you want something like extra that I didn't get?
Means like some like a deep diving into Splunk, where
Yeah.
we can know practically how things work.
So
So
then
for
you have to
that, I
go for the Splunk course.
okay. So like when means you are planning to have Splunk course, can
Yeah, it's
we
already
get?
running. Actually, it is like a 1 second. I will just stop the screen share and I will show you. Yeah, meanwhile, like some others can ask.
Yeah, it's the same question. So what is the duration of this course? What are the prerequisites?
Yeah, I will just a second. I'll share my screen. So, like we'll be covering the admin and the like power user. Power user is nothing but the Splunk development only. Okay. So like where this is the syllabus. I'll be putting this in the chat window. So these topics will be covered. Okay. So like there will be two stuff, right? One is like admin and one is like a development. Okay. So it doesn't mean like you should know admin to get into development. So what I can do, right? So currently like we are in a teaching, I'm taking some admin classes. We are at admin. Okay, maybe in 3 or 4 days the admin will be completed. So you can enroll for this Splunk development. Post that, right, in the next batch you will be having admin. No, you can listen admin there. So either two ways, right? You can start admin first or development first. It is both are independent. So maybe next batch will start around like development class will start in 4 or 5 days. That's what I assume. Maybe that coordinators will intimate you. So this would be the like creating the alerts, visualizations. Okay, this will be the what to say. This will be the course. Licensing options like setting up the search heads as well as the indexers as well as the universal forwarders. So user creation, indexes. So this will be covered. Okay. So this will be for the development.
Sir, can we know the probable date when this course will start and the duration of this course?
So I will intimate you in like within 1 or 2 days. Okay, I will get back to you on exact dates, but it will be this week only. Okay, development will start this week. Okay, so mostly it will be like 30 days.
So it's like 30 days for each,
No,
like that.
Altogether.
So 30 days for both admin and developer.
Yes, yes. So yeah, so how it will be, right? Like let us assume like you want a theory. So if you want definitions means I have to type no. If you want theory, like what is indexer definition, if you want to type, right? So one class will take some 10 or 5 minutes will be spent. So if you want only practical, no, it won't take more than 30 days. It will be taking 30 days. So if you would say like, okay, boss, you give me only like practical. So you most concentrate on practical stuff, right? Then I can explain the practicals in a better way. Rather than sparing a theory, I will give some notes instead of discussing in the like writing on the notepad and all those, right? I will give some what to say. I will give some notes to you so that you can read it from there. So if you want like to write the definition and all those stuff, right, it will be little bit time consuming. That depends upon the batch. The choice is for the batch. normally current batch, right? They told, right, they will take only this. What to say? They will take only the labs. Okay, so they're interested in the labs rather than in the what is indexer and all those, right? I will be giving the notes to them so that they will read from there. That is the current approach. That depends upon the batch. I will take their opinion as well, because there will be like mixture of people, no? There will be freshers and experienced people. So that's why that option I will give to the people itself. For me also, the thing is like, if I take only lab, no, then you can ask some questions. It will be more interactive. Likewise, you had now, right? It is up to the people base. Any other questions?
So for notification regarding this course, we'll get a mail from DURGASOFT only, correct?
Yeah, you will get the mail from DURGASOFT.
Okay, thanks.
So how was the session? Did you enjoy it? At least we got to know what is Splunk and what is it does, right?
Yeah, the session was really good.
Basically, it's like an Excel. If you want to say, right, after 2 years or 1 year from now, right, it will be like an Excel. Like how you use Excel in Office, right? You should have a log management tool to work on. To be open, right? I'm saying like maybe you use Kiban or whatever. Everything is same, but like Splunk is recommended by the most of the organizations. I'm saying like out of 100, 90 will use Splunk in production. So they don't want to mess up with the production data. They will buy the license and they will go with it. If it is a product based company and who doesn't, if it is a telecom project, you know, they won't mind if they do some data. But if it is a financial or insurance banking, they will definitely go with Splunk. There is no other option.
Yeah, ours is a healthcare organization. They have Splunk for all the environments, dev, QA, and prod.
Yeah. Like it's most underrated, or I don't know what is that this called, like underrated course, I believe. So now only people are realizing, and it is being used for DevOps, this one also, right? What to say, machine learning and all those. But as a course, only not many people are, freshers don't know about Splunk. That's what I mean. Only the experienced people who are in industry for 4 or 5 years now, they will know about Splunk. It is not like Java or .NET, okay? It is something like the people who wants only will come on demand. Yeah. Any other questions? Else we'll wonder. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.